I prefer down. We have to do operations.
Oh, we could get up over there.
Yes, exactly, that's right.
Oh, okay, there we go. So not as long up, more down. All right, we can do that. All right, so for our viewers at home, we got 2 blocks, but we're going to start up. So first order of business, since we're standing, we're going to do a internet breath that I learned. I don't know if it's any good, but we're going to try it. So I kind of noticed this Monday or Tuesday, my back just felt kind of like, didn't hurt, but it was like, all right, something's going on here. So whenever I think of back issues, I always think, well, what do we need to prevent? So core strength. So we'll do some of that. So this is regular inhale, and then we're going to exhale. And then after the exhale, you're going to squeeze everything out and hold that for 8 seconds, if you can. All right, so it looks like this. Inhale, exhale, and then you're pulling all of those muscles in and holding it. And then inhale again, exhale, pulling the muscles in, inhale, exhale, pull all those muscles in, inhale, exhale, squeeze, inhale, and exhale, pull the muscles in, inhale, and then release. All right, so you might feel that later if you want to practice that at home. It's getting into deep core muscles to do that. It's not just the abdominal wall, it's deeper in. The other thing we're going to work on, maybe when we're down on the floor on our backs, is because I saw myself doing it. When I inhaled, I went, so I'm breathing up in here, and I don't want to do that. So if I saw some of you doing that too, that's why we're going to do it. All right, so let's start moving. Cat and cow standing. So feet are, hip width or so, hands on the thighs. We're going to drop the chin, tuck the tailbone. This is our exhale. On the inhale, rounding up, looking up. And exhale back. Inhale. And exhale. Back and forth between the two. Excellent. One more in each direction. Nice. And then back to neutral. So our next one is our lateral. So feet are a little bit wider because our center of gravity is shifting as we're doing this. And you can have your hand on your hip or down that leg. We're going to inhale this first arm up and then crossing the midline. We don't have to go all the way over as we're warming up here. Exhale back, inhale. And you might find as you are moving that the spine warms up a little bit. And you can go a little deeper, but it's not a requirement. Excellent. Okay, so we're gonna do one more each side, and we're gonna actually do 2 breaths on each side. So we're gonna inhale, bring this up. We're gonna stay in this position, and then 2 breaths. So see if you can breathe into that rib cage. If you want, you can even put your hand there, feel the movement. One more, inhale. And on the exhale, bring that arm down. So what we're doing is kind of counterbalancing that chest breath or belly breath. So we want to get that diaphragm moving. Inhale, bring this arm up. We'll take a couple breaths here. If you want, you can put your hand on the lower rib cage. And then one more inhale. And then on the exhale, bring that arm down. Nice. All right. Let's do fabulous twist next. Arms out wherever you like. T closer to the body, halfway in between. 2 options. Inhale, and then exhale into the twist. Inhale back. Or if you like, you can just flop back and forth like the rag doll. Excellent. And then back to center. So let's do, we're going to do half moon and then half sun, and then we'll do some IT band and hamstring stretches. Sounds good. Okay. Half moon first. All right. So we have our little ball of light or energy. We're going to inhale, bring it up. Feet are decently wide here. We're going to exhale to one side. Inhale, center. Exhale, second side. Nice. Inhale, back up. And then on this exhale, if you want to drop that lower arm down. Inhale, bring it up. Exhale over to the other side. Inhale, bring it up. And one more time. Exhale. Inhale, up. Exhale over. Drop that arm down. Inhale, bring it up. And then if you want to do just maybe a baby back bend, looking up towards the ceiling. And then we're going to exhale, release, arms come back down. Nice. All right, half sun salutation. All right, hands to the heart. We're going to inhale, hands come down, arms come up. Exhale, arms out to the side. Forward fold, we're hinging at the hip joints. You can have a little softness in the knees. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward. Bend the knees, nice and deep, arms out to the side. Inhale, all the way up, palms together. Exhale, hands straight. 2 more. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward. Bend the knees, arms out to the side. Inhale, all the way up, palms together. Exhale, hands straight. All right, last one. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward. Bend the knees, arms out to the side. Inhale. Bring all the way up, palms together. Exhale, hands straight. Nice. All right, so let's do, we're going to do elephant walk, and then we will do squat folds, and then we'll do our IT band stretch. All right, hopefully that covers most of the thighs. Maybe we'll do a quad stretch later. All right, so what do we need? So for our elephant walk, if you want, since we have our blocks out, you can use the blocks here. If you're reaching the floor, then you don't need them, but if you're not reaching the blocks, you could also use a chair too. So there's no, issues with using props because we're not trying to reach the floor, we're trying to stretch the thighs. All right, so we're hinging at the hips again. We're gonna exhale, fold forward so you can come down to the blocks. I'm gonna turn sideways so you can see kind of what my movement is. So feet are lined up. We're gonna bend one knee and then this other leg, that knee is straight. And then we switch. So we're just back and forth. If you're reaching the floor, that's fine, but not necessary. And it might actually be better to be on the blocks, especially for the spine. So you can elongate the spine a little bit more. Excellent. All right, so one or two more each side. Excellent. And then to come out, we're going to bend both knees nice and deep. Arms come out to the side. We're going to come up with a straight spine. Bring the arms all the way up and then down. Awesome. All right, so squat folds are next. I was going to say go nice and slow, but I feel like we're kind of going at a decent fast pace, and that's okay. If you're sore or tired or anything, go slow. If you're like, woohoo, do whatever you want, just don't hurt yourself. All right, so we'll start with, we're going to inhale the arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Wherever you reach, doesn't matter. And keep the knees soft. Inhale, come all the way back up. And then we're going to bring the hands together and squat. And you don't have to go all the way down if you don't want to. Inhale, come back up. Exhale, fold forward. Keeping the knees nice and soft. Inhale. And then we're going to squat. Inhale, pop back up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, come back up. We're going to exhale, squat, and we'll do, two more. Inhale. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, come back up. Exhale, squat. Nice. Inhale, one more round. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, come back up. And exhale, the last squat. Nice. Inhale to come up, and you can bring the arms up and around if you like. All right, what did I promise after that? A T-band stretch. All right, so hopefully the legs are nice and warmed up. The IT band, if you don't know, goes from the iliac, which is the hip bone up here, to the tibia, which is your lower leg. All the way up the side, it's connective tissue, so it doesn't stretch, but it gets tight. So we're going to be gentle. All right, so here we go. So we're gonna take one foot, cross it in front of the other. Again, we're hinging at those hips, and if you have your blocks, that might be helpful if you're not reaching the floor. All right, so here we go. So we're gonna inhale, exhale, hinge at those hip joints, and you can come down to the blocks. You can make them lower or move them out of the way if you're reaching the floor. Not required. So typically you're gonna feel this stretch in the back leg, not the one that's crossed over in front. But depending on where you're tight, you might feel it somewhere else. So we're gonna stay here for a moment if you can, and we're gonna breathe into it. So inhale, and then with the exhale, release the tension. And maybe one or two more breaths here. Excellent. And then coming out, we bring the hands to the hips, come up with a straight spine. Use your inhale. We're gonna uncross, shake it out. If you built up any tension, shaking helps relax that a little bit so we're not pulling anything. All right, let's go the other side. We're gonna cross in front. Inhale, and then exhale, hinge at those hip joints, folding forward. And you might find that one side is tighter than the other. Totally normal. We do a lot of asymmetrical habits. And again, use the breath. So wherever it's tight, it might be tight somewhere else. Breathe into that spot. Excellent. And then to come back up, hands on the hips, inhale, coming up with a straight spine. Nice and slow, take your time, uncross, shake it out. All right, let's see. All right, I think we're gonna do 1, 2, 3 warriors. And that will get us through the standing up part, and then we'll come down to the floor and do some more stuff. All right, so starting with warrior 1, I'm gonna step 1 foot forward, that back foot turns out at an angle. And let's start with warming up that front knee. So we've done a bunch of stuff where we're folding, and hopefully the knee's okay, but we want to check, we're going that second and third toe. So inhale to straighten, exhale bend. Excellent. We're going to push off, step back, or step that back foot forward. Turn that foot out. Second foot comes forward. Let's do the knee first. Inhale, straight leg. Exhale, bend. If you want to look down, check, make sure you're going to that second and third toe. Excellent. Push off, step back, step that back foot forward. And then let's add the arms. Let's do cactus arms. If those don't work for you, do hands to heart, or if you prefer arms straight up, whatever works for you. All right, ready? Here we go. Inhale. Bend at the elbows, bend that front knee. Exhale back. Nice, one more. All right, switching sides, step back or step forward, turn that foot out. Second foot in front. Cactus arms again, unless you like something better. Inhale and exhale. Nice. One more. All right. Step the feet back together. And let's see. Warrior 2. So let's do, let's add the high lunge in at the end. Option to do it with the blocks. I'm going to do it without the blocks, but I'll show you with the blocks, just in case you like it like that better. So we're in Peaceful Warrior, and then you can come down, pivot that back foot, and then come up to high lunge. So I'm going to do it without the block. So then sweeping up and then coming into high lunge. Okay. All right, so let's start with our Warrior 2. Bending that front knee over that front ankle. Hands at the heart, arms open out to the side. Gazes to the front. Soften the shoulders, extend the fingers. Excellent. All right, forward first, side angle pose. This upper hand can be hand on the hip, hand up towards the ceiling, or arm over the bicep, or arm over the ear. Nice. And then we're going to windmill around with the inhale to Peaceful Warrior. Excellent. And then you can either come down to the blocks or sweep that back arm forward to high lunge. If you're a little wobbly, you can have that heel down. Or if you want a little bit more work, up on the toes. Nice. Back to Warrior 2. And you can adjust the feet as we switch different positions, otherwise you might be a little wobbly. All right, side angle pose. And then inhale, Peaceful Warrior. And then moving into high lunge, however you like. Excellent, back to Warrior 2. And one more round. Side angle pose. Inhale, Peaceful Warrior. And then a nice big high lunge. Excellent. All right, we'll come to Warrior 2. And then drop the arms and step the feet together. Shake it out. And then let's hit the other side. All right, knee over that front ankle, hands at the heart, arms open up to the side. Soften the shoulder, gazes towards the front. And then bending that front elbow, coming into side angle pose. Back hand can be on the hip, up towards the ceiling or overhead. Inhale, windmill around to Peaceful Warrior. And then big sweep to high lunge. So you can come forward or swing that back arm under. Nice, back to Warrior 2. And let's do it again. Side angle pose. Inhale, Peaceful Warrior. And high lunge. Excellent. One more time through, starting with Warrior 2. Side angle pose. Inhale, Peaceful Warrior. And one more, high lunge. Excellent. Back to Warrior 2. And then we'll drop the arms and step the feet back together. Shake it out. All right. Okay. So that was 1 and 2. Let's do Warrior 3. This is a nice balance pose and good for our osteopenia, osteoporosis. If you hold it for 8 seconds or more, up to 1.5 minutes. All right, so for Warrior 3, we've got a couple of options. I'm going to do blocks because we have them, but you can do it without, and you can do 3, different poses. If the blocks are too far, you can grab a chair and do it either at the seat or up on the back of the chair. All right, without the blocks, you can do arms in front, arms out to the side, or arms behind. So airplane, T, Superman. All right, so let's do whichever style you like. I'm gonna do the blocks. So we're gonna have the foot in the center of the mat, and we're gonna have the blocks about torso distance from that foot. Inhale, and then exhale, we're gonna hinge at those hip joints. You can come down to the blocks or extend the arms out. So we want a little softness in that knee so we're not hyperextending. We're gonna step the other foot so we're resting on the toes to start. Feel that extension in the spine, and then if you like, you can lift that leg up. So we kind of want it horizontal to the spine. So if it's dragging a little bit, that's okay. But see if you can extend the head forward and that foot back behind you. And I wasn't counting, but maybe we'll do 5 more seconds. Excellent. All right, so bring that foot down. We're going to bend the knees, and then you can bring the arms out to come back up. All right, center the second foot. Inhale nice and tall, and then exhale, hinging at those hip joints. You come down to your block, or extend the arms out, or a chair. Fingers of the toes. Toes of the other foot back behind you. A little softness in that straight leg knee. And then if you want, you can lift that back leg up. You want to extend forward with the crown of the head, back with the heel. Excellent. And then coming out, toes come down, and step the feet together, bend the knees, arms come out, and down. All right. We'll do 2 more and then come down to the floor. So let's do our moving balance. We'll do those 2 and then hit the floor. All right. You can stay on your mat, or if you like, on the floor. And we'll do palm tree pose first. And let's do just the feet and then just the arms and then both together. All right, so here we go. So we're gonna inhale up on the toes, exhale down. If you want to add on to the feet, you can lift the toes after you come back down. All right, don't watch me. My feet are not behaving. Excellent. Okay, release that. Let's do just the arms. Inhale, bring the arms up. Feel the whole extension of the spine. Exhale, arms back down. Excellent. One more. Nice. And then let's put it all together. Inhale, arms up on the toes. Exhale down. If you want to make this more difficult, 2 options: staying up and lifting the toes. You can do one or the other or both, or neither. Excellent. Let's do one more. All right. That was not my best. It's okay. Every day is different. Let's do Which version do we want? Let's go big. Let's do mountain climbers. All right, so we're gonna do one knee up and the opposite arm up. If that's too much for you today or any day, you can do any of the other options, arms out or arms in the center, and then the knee. All right, so here's what we're gonna do. One knee up, opposite arm up, and then other side. So you can do this nice and slow. You can do it faster, but we're about to head down to the floor, so we don't want to get too worked up. Well, maybe you do. Oh wait, I forgot one thing. We're gonna do one thing before we come down. Remembered it earlier, forgot it. Now I remembered it again. All right. One more time, each side. Excellent. All right, so we didn't do any of the small joint warm up, but we are gonna do a little nerve glide. So bring the arms out to the side. I think the arms are pretty warmed up, but if you just wanna kinda relax into this. All right, so we're gonna go one set of fingers up, the other down, back and forth. And then we're gonna add the head. You turn to one side and then slowly go to the other side. This one, you have to do slow. Otherwise, it doesn't work. All right, release the arms, shake them out and shake the head out a little bit. And we're gonna come down to hands and knees. And grab your blocks. All right, so we're not going to do a bunch on our hands and knees because we didn't do any wrist prep. So we'll do our lunge and then come and sit. All right, lunges, not one singular one. All right, so options with the blocks, 3 fingers in front, thumb and pinky on the outside. That helps the block stay stable. You don't have to be up this high. You can do second level or third level, or you can do it without. Sometimes it's nice to have them up tall so you have room to swing the legs in and out. All right, we're gonna bring both blocks over to the left, bringing that right leg up and out, or out and forward, or straight up from the center. All right, so first order of business, we're going to bring the hips down towards the floor. So I've got my knee is in front of my toes. What we're doing is we're opening up this hip flexor on the opposite side. Nice. All right, back up to neutral, and then let's move the hands here. So we're gonna bring the hands up on the knee. And at any point in time, if it's too wobbly, come back down a level. All right, next one is hands up towards the ceiling. And the next option here is to bring the pelvis back down towards the floor. Excellent, coming back up to neutral, hands to the knees, hands to the blocks, and then we're going to bring that knee back and bring the other foot forward. So you can bring the blocks over to one side and then center, or through to the front. All right. First one, pelvis down towards the floor. That knee comes forward. This is nice for the ankles too, give you a little bit of range of motion. Nice, coming back up. And then here we go with the arms, hands on the knee. Hands up towards the ceiling. And then last one, pelvis down towards the floor again. Excellent. Back up to center. Hands to the knee. Hands to the blocks. And then we're going to send that knee back. Now we're going to do at least one more version. We're going to do revolved low lunge. So we're going to come back to that first knee, however you get it up there. And we're going to take the opposite hand. So I have my right foot in front. I'm going to bring my left hand down to a lower block, or maybe even the floor, depending on how long your limbs are. So you can move that other block out of the way. So my right foot, I'm going to take my right hand, inhale, bring it up towards the ceiling. So this is our revolved low lunge. That's a nice twist. We didn't do a huge amount of twisting, so don't go too deep. Excellent. And then we're going to bring that back down. And then we're going to switch sides. So if you need the blocks again, just switch legs. And then you can come down with that opposite hand. On the block or on the floor. All right, same foot, same hand, inhale. It's our revolved low lunge. Excellent. And then we're going to bring that hand down. And then tuck that knee under. Now I've got, are you guys feeling adventurous?
Sure.
Yay. Okay, so we're going to do a, forgot what this is called. It's a version of a low lunge. All right, so I'm going to do medium blocks for this. I'm going to bring one foot up in front and then curling the toes of the back foot. I should do this sideways, shouldn't I? All right, one foot in front. You curl the toes of the back foot and lift that knee off the floor. So maybe this is a medium lunge. Take another breath here. And then bring the knee back down, release the foot. And then we'll switch legs. Then again, you can do higher with the blocks or lower. All right. Curl the toes of that back foot. Inhale, lift that knee up off the floor. Excellent. Okay, you can bring that knee back down, release the foot, and then come out of your lunge. We're going to come and sit on the floor. There's another version of that if you're practicing at home, where you do the revolved lunge with the leg up. So combining the last two that we did. Okay. All right. So let's do, we'll do cat and cow at least here, so seated. You can sit cross-legged, hands under the knees, or legs straight out, hands under the thighs. And we'll start with our exhale for our cat. Tuck the chin, round the spine, tuck the tailbone. On the inhale, rounding up, looking up. Exhale back. And then just back and forth between the two. Seeing if you notice kind of where the back relaxes again. Excellent. And then back to neutral. Let's do our laterals next. So one hand comes down to the floor. We're going to inhale, bring this other arm up and over. Exhale, bring it back. Inhale. And exhale. One more time, each side. Excellent. All right, let's do our twist next. So we're going to inhale nice and tall, exhale, turning to the first side. Inhale, center, exhale, second side. Excellent. All right. One more time each side. And then back to center. All right, let's do forward fold, and then we're going to come on to the belly. All right, so here we go. So we're going to inhale, bring the arms up. Exhale, forward fold, wherever you reach, tap down. Inhale, bring it back up. Exhale, fold forward. Excellent. One more time. And then this time we're going to come down, grab the legs wherever you reach. We're going to pull the chest forward. Exhale, pull the belly button in, dip the chin. And just take a couple of relaxing breaths here, letting go of muscle tension in the legs. Relax the spine. Excellent. Okay, to come out, we're going to extend the arms over the legs, push the legs into the floor. Inhale, coming all the way up. Exhale, and release. Nice. All right. So coming onto the belly, we're going to get into those quads. It's my favorite way to get down in there. So coming forward. So any time you need to come into a rest pose, we're going to come into, I like to call it alligator, other people call it crocodile, but basically we bend the elbows, hands stack, and then the forehead rests on the hands. So that's our alligator pose. First pose here is Sphinx. So we're going to bring the elbows under the shoulders, and then the fingers are open. And this one, we're just going to move the neck. So if you have neck issues or this is uncomfortable on the spine, you can rest in that alligator pose. So here we go. So we're going to inhale in the center. And then exhale, turning towards one side. Inhale, center. Exhale, second side. Inhale, back to center. Exhale to the first side. Inhale, center. Exhale, second side. Nice. One more time each side. Inhale, center. Exhale to the first side. Inhale, center. Exhale, second side. Nice. Inhale back to center. And then we're going to come down to alligator for a moment. Excellent. All right, so let's do one-legged bow pose, and then we'll do baby cobra. All right, so I have my head up so you can hear me better, so I'm not just talking into the floor, but keep your forehead down for this to start. And what we're gonna do is we're just gonna bend the knees and bring the heel towards the torso. So we're just kind of relaxing that, moving it a little bit. Awesome. All right, so we're going to start with one leg, bending that knee. And we're going to take that same arm, bring it forward, and then out and around. That's going to get you the right rotation in the shoulders so you can reach that foot better. If you can't reach it, that's okay. Just extend the arm back while you bring the heel towards the buttocks. If you can reach it, we're just going to press the foot down. So we're getting that nice stretch in the quads, in the front of the thigh. So if it's tight, breathe into it. Excellent. Release that side, bring that arm back. And then let's go to the other side, bring the arm forward, out. And then if you can, reach the foot. Otherwise, just extend the arm back. So we're getting that nice rotation in the shoulder. And again, one side might be tighter than the other. That's okay. But breathe into that tightness. Excellent. When you're ready, release that. If you're up for it and you can reach both your feet, grab one and then reach around, grab the other. And we're just going to stay low profile for this. We're not going to push up into it. But keeping the chin tucked. Excellent. Release that. Let's come into our alligator pose. All right, next we're gonna do our baby cobra. So for this one, we are not using the arms. We're just gonna bring the hands under the shoulders and we're tucking the elbows into the ribs. So this is all movement coming from the back of the neck. So we're gonna tuck the chin and we're gonna lift from the back of the neck, kind of like that mother cat picking up a kitten. So inhale, lift up as high as you're gonna go, and then you can look forward like 2 or 3 feet. And then on the exhale, tuck the chin again, and then bring the forehead down to the floor. Let's do that 3 times. Ready? Here we go. Inhale, lift from the back of the neck. Tip the chin up. Exhale, tip the chin. I'm sorry. Tip the chin down, forehead down to the floor. And again, inhale, lift. Tip the chin up. Exhale, tip the chin down, forehead to the floor. Nice. One more. Inhale, lift. Tip up. Exhale, chip. I have to come up with some different words for this. Chin down, exhale, forehead to the floor. All right, you can bring the hands back for alligator pose. Take 1 or 2 more breaths here. I'm gonna flip my mat sideways. And then whenever you're ready, we're gonna roll, or you can sit up and then come back onto the spine, whatever's comfortable. Or you've got feet at the top of the mat and then rolling down onto the floor. So the first thing I want to do is that breath for the diaphragm. If you are a chest breather or a belly breather, our goal is to do 3 parts instead of just 1 or 2. So the 3 parts would be the chest, the lower rib cage, and the belly. So we're going to do something called Hridaya Nabi Mandala Mudra. So basically heart and navel. So 1 hand on the belly, 1 hand on the heart. And we're going to inhale through the nose. And we're going to imagine the breath comes down the back of the body. And then on the exhale, it comes up the front of the body. All right, so here we go. So hand on the heart, hand on the belly, inhale through the nose. And then exhale, we're going to pull the belly button in, and then exhale out the nose. Inhale, and exhale. Inhale, and exhale. 1 more breath. Exhale. Nice. All right, remove the hands, and then let's bring them to that lower rib cage. So 1 hand on each side, and we're gonna move the hands with the breath. So we're gonna inhale and exhale. Excellent. Okay, remove the hands, take 2 regular breaths, wherever it is. Excellent. So what we're looking at doing is moving all 3 of those parts, the belly, the chest, and the rib cage. Ideally, all of them on the inhale and all of them on the exhale. I'm still working on it, so don't expect perfection on the first go around, but that's something that we probably need to work on a little bit more. All right, let's do, what do we got time for? Let's do Apanasana. So we're gonna exhale, knees in, inhale, knees out. Excellent. All right, let's bring the feet down to the mat. And we're going to do bridge pose. If you can reach your block, I'm going to give you 2 options with this bridge pose. One is to bring the block in between the thighs when we do this bridge pose. The other one is, we'll see if we get to that one. So let's try this one first. So let's do, we're just going to do 2 rounds of bridge pose to start here. So arms down by your side. We're going to inhale, arms up, hips up. Exhale, arms down, hips down. And again, inhale, arms up, hips up. Exhale, arms down, hips down. Let's do that one more time. Inhale, lift. And exhale, release. Nice. All right, one more round like this. We're going to do the extra breath. So inhale, arms up, hips up. Exhale, release just the hips. Take another inhale. Exhale, arms down by your sides. And again, inhale, arms up, hips up. Exhale, release just the hips. Take another inhale. Exhale, arms down by your sides. Nice. One more. Inhale, arms up, hips up. Exhale, release just the hips. Take another inhale. Exhale, arms down by your sides. Nice. All right, second option here with the bridge pose. We're gonna do a bridge hold. So we're gonna come up and lift the hips up and then hold them there. So if you have a block and you wanna put the block under the pelvis while we do that, you can do that. If you just wanna hold it up there, that's fine. Or if you're done with bridge, you can sit that one out. All right, so here we go. So we're gonna inhale, lift just the hips. If you have a block and you want, you can slide it under. So the top edge is at the top of the pelvis. Arms down by your side. And we're just gonna relax into this. So we're relaxing any muscles that we tightened. Remember that breath we did kind of at the beginning? So we were tightening some muscles in there. So now we're relaxing them. If you want, and it's okay with your spine, another option is to extend the legs over the block, or if you're just up in the air, you're just gonna have to stay like that. So anytime you wanna come out, just a nice slow exhale. But I'm gonna give it a couple more breaths here. Excellent. All right. To come out, we're going to inhale, lift the hips up, slide the block out, and then exhale, coming down very, very slowly, like one vertebrae at a time. And then after you're all the way down, we're going to come in and let's do a wide-legged Apanasana. Exhale, knees in, inhale, knees out. You can do it in more narrow if you like, but this is nice at the end. And especially after we did a lot of bridge. Option 2, rock side to side. But then come back to Apanasana. Excellent. All right. Feet down to the mat. Option 2, extend the legs out or keep them bent. We're going to finish off with palm tree pose arms here. Inhale, arms up overhead to the floor above you. Exhale, arms back down by your sides. Finish the one you're on and do one more. And then getting ready for our final relaxation pose. I'm gonna sit up so you can hear me better, but getting any last little wiggles out, maybe tuck the shoulder blades under. And we'll do a full body relaxation, walking up the body, relaxing each part as we go, starting with the feet. Relax the toes. Relax the tops of the feet, the soles of the feet, and the heels. Release the ankles. Relax the calves and shins. Release the knees. Relax the tops of the thighs and the backs of the thighs. Let the pelvis be heavy and sink into the earth. Relax the abdomen. Release the rib cage and let go of breath. Let the shoulders be heavy and sink into the earth. Relax the upper arms, elbows, and lower arms. Release the wrists. Relax the hands, fingers, and palms. Relax the throat and the back of the neck. Release the jaw. Smooth the forehead and face. Let any last thoughts seep out the top of the crown of the head. Let the earth's gravity hold you. Let the air around you breathe you. Take the next few moments and just be. Gently coming back into awareness. Wiggle your toes. Wiggle your fingers. If you'd like, you can roll your head side to side. When you're ready, and with an inhale, rolling over onto your right or left side. When you're ready, and again with an inhale, pushing up to a comfortable seated position. And bring breath back into the body and find us safely on our way. Let's finish with sun breath number 3. Let's palms together, elbows together. Inhale, open. Exhale, closed. 3 times. You're ready? Here we go. Inhale, open. Exhale, closed. Then inhale, open. Exhale, closed. And one more glorious time. Inhale, open. Exhale, closed. Palms together with the heart, and namaste. Thank you, guys. We will see you next week.